What you're about to hear is a mental health professional quoting another mental health professional talking to mental health professionals about how it's important that if you're going to comment on firearms ownership, you should probably know something about firearms ownership.
We're more familiar with firearms, e.g. law enforcement, public safety, or even Second Amendment groups. So, it's encouraging. If you're a mental health practitioner, you're reading a book written by mental health practitioners, and they're saying, go to a gun range and take a class. Probably a good idea. 600 pages behind that. Furthermore, practitioners interested in conducting firearm-specific evaluations, and this is key too, because if somebody comes to you and is like, am I safe? Is my kid safe? You need to strongly consider visiting such places as gun ranges as well as other environments frequented by firearm owners and operators. Same examples. Consistent with the principles underlying clinical training, more generally, in other words, many years of thousands of hours of classroom education, independent reading and study, and participating in internships, externships, and other experiential practical placement. So we want to replicate our training. We should do this with all trainings, whether it's psychotropic medication or anxiety or EMDR or whatever. We should replicate the trainings the same way we went through grad school.
All right, what you've been watching is a short clip from the pilot program, the launch of a new course that's being offered from Walk the Talk America and Zephyr Wellness called The Intersection of Guns and Mental Health. And this course is specifically for licensed mental health professionals. It's actually been approved for continuing education credits in the state of Nevada, and we hope eventually to run this program nationwide. Now, this first course that we ran at Reno Guns and Range was really important to seeing exactly, first of all, who would even show up from the mental health world, see what kinds of questions they would ask, and see if, in fact, we were hitting the mark that we wanted to hit in terms of influencing them and educating them about guns and gun culture. A lot of this was influenced by the idea that there isn't any education inside of the mental health community, just like there isn't much awareness inside of the gun community of mental health issues. Inside of the mental health community, there really isn't a lot of formal education in firearms issues or firearms culture. And in fact, this was really brought to our attention by this book, The Behavioral Science of Firearms. And what's happening right now in this video is Jake is quoting from this book, and this book was written exclusively for mental health professionals who are having to deal with questions like, should someone own a gun? Is it okay? Is it safe for someone to own a gun? Why is that important? Well, obviously there's a lot of state laws that require some kind of a mental health background check. There's a lot of first responders that require mental health background checks and continuing mental health work, especially in the aftermath of trauma, in the aftermath of a shooting, for example. Most law enforcement officers will go through some type of mental health evaluation, at least, if not mental health therapy process after that shooting event happens. So mental health professionals really do need to be aware of guns and gun culture and can't just shut themselves down to, well, I'm not a gun person, and at the end of the day, you have more risk in your house if you have a gun than if you don't have a gun, so how about we just default to don't take the risk, no firearms in the house, no firearms on your person. Obviously, that's not in our interest. Talk about red flag laws, the ERPO laws, those also obviously are a huge intersection with guns and mental health. We need to make sure that the mental health community is educated. And the good news, 14 people signed up to take part in this pilot course. They got continuing education credits for going through it, and we're working in conjunction with the mental health community. This course is a program unlike any other program that we're aware of in the country. And in fact, Jake from Zephyr Wellness is super excited about it too, because he's been involved in the licensing and in the review boards, in the high-end process at the state level in Nevada. Now, Nevada is far behind some other states in terms of mental health, but it's leading in terms of the intersection of guns and mental health. Let's go back and hear a little bit more of this. Remember, all mental health professionals aren't anti-gun. A lot of them are just gun ignorant, and this program is going to help them become much more educated about guns and gun culture and the appropriate and responsible use and ownership of firearms. Take a listen to what's being said. I think you might be surprised.
And that's what we're trying to do with this course. That's why I'm so fired up about it. I want this to be elite. I want it to be, the Gottman Institute, certificate of, you attained Gottman level, whatever. And then 4, all educators and researchers who interface with firearm-related issues, directly or indirectly, should familiarize themselves with the broad literature pertaining to firearms, not solely on that which is related to gun violence. This is a big thing. Like, there's a lot of gun violence, gun violence, gun violence. And our hesitation is to be like, well, shouldn't we just stop all violence? And then people get upset. It's like, no, because guns are deadly and they look like, this. And so that's a flashpoint. In addition, those conducting research and teaching areas more closely connected with firearms should seek formal continuing education on firearm-specific topics, and those conducting research and training directly in firearms arenas should strongly consider getting exposure to various firearms-related subcultures, especially natural environments such as gun range. When 100 million Americans own a firearm and many more have some level of association with them, it's a matter of choice rather than availability to not receive professional exposure to firearms or firearm-related subcultures. My big contention is that people are willfully ignorant about this topic. That bothers me to my core as a practitioner. I don't like willful ignorance. I think that if you have a visceral reaction to something, that's a really good sign that you've got a blind spot touched. And that's exactly where you should go. Not run away from it, pretend like you don't need any more training.